I got quite a bit to discuss here tonight before we get to Q&A. So let's see what y'all got to say. Let's see if this thing ever starts. Come on. Hello, computer. It should be 30 seconds by now on the delay, right? Can anybody hear me? Okay, there I am. Nope, something went wrong. So, of course, now I can't read the comments. Let's see. Okay, Jacob's telling me 5 by 5. So, yeah, here we go again. We're trying to refresh this thing again to see. Okay, now the chat came up. All right, good deal. So, good evening, all. Uh, kind of go through everything. To see, Jacob's already made in here. So good. We have one of our pet bulldogs in here. So that's always a good thing. And if you're the only one, Jacob, you might be busy tonight. So I just want to say hi, Arlene, Green Shingle, Gail, Amy's in here. Okay, Comrade Radio Prepper, good to see you, buddy. Tip Top Farm, Chief Jim, Gracie Quinn, good deal. Frank Rizzo, Becky Reed, Voodoo Queen's in here, Hillbilly Homesteader. Prepper Nerd made it on time for a change. There you go. Well, dude, I'm sorry. It's 5 o'clock Cali time. I know you're probably just getting off of work. Cheryl's in here, Sam, Virginia Prepper, an Ordinary Gal, Mammy KB, Ashley Shadow, Lisa Hofer, John Sorbo. Good deal. Well, welcome everybody to those of you that actually have power tonight and have internet, which is not too common of an experience. I guess about half the country right now is under some sort of winter weather fiasco, and there's I guess what four some odd million people in Texas, and I saw Oregon and Iowa and Kansas and everybody being without power. So okay, so as usual, I'm going to start with some housekeeping items, and maybe a little bit longer today than normal. Excuse me. But if y'all saw the video I posted this afternoon around 4 o'clock Eastern, thereabouts, about ATM machines. Yeah, I had a little interesting scenario yesterday or today when I couldn't get, can't get my days straight, uh, couldn't get money out of the ATM machine. 4 different banks plus one where an ATM wasn't working. So I posted a video on it because it kind of concerned me. I mean, I knew I had $200 in the bank. It wasn't a big deal there. And then in the comments, a whole bunch of you had said same thing, that you were getting this error message on ATM. And then Lake Ferry Prepper did a video where she was where she went to the ATM machine. The first time she put in her card, she got an error message. Now, fortunately, she was able to get the cash out afterwards. But there seems to be a banking issue at the moment. And somebody brought up a decent point, which is possible. Okay. I'm not passing any judgments here anywhere. Okay. But that a lot of the banking institutions are down in Texas. Now, like I said in the video, mine's Capital One. And Capital One's based out of Houston. Now, what's going on in Texas? Maybe that had something to do with it. But even when I called the bank, the number on the back of your card and say, WTF, the guy's like, oh, it's being flagged as, fraud. I'm like, dude, it ain't fraud. It's my card. I haven't called anything in. There's no problem. I'm taking cash out near my house. So, and then a few other people said the exact same thing happened to them. So, go watch the video. But I'm telling you guys, get some cash, because if you don't have some cash on you in the power outages, ATMs run on electricity, guys. So that's the first thing. That was on my video this afternoon. Two other things. If any of you caught the news, and I dropped links in the description, I actually remembered for a change. Kraft and Heinz, okay, same company, announced today that they are going to be raising prices on food because of the cost of grains and everything of the sort. So what we've all talked about, food inflation, geez, somebody's actually admitting that it's happening. Okay, so that was kind of in there. Just an interesting read for you. The last one, and this is the one that you guys need to watch for, and this is what I talked about last week. Okay, remember I mentioned talking about the 10-year Treasury notes. And I told you that, it was about 0.6% was the yield on the Treasury notes back in September. And last week when I did the video, it was at 1.21%. I think that was either Saturday, that was Friday night's close, so that was Saturday night's video. Now, mind you, yesterday was a bank holiday. Okay. Today, the 10-year note closed at 1.31, up 9 basis points. Basis point is 1/100th of a percent. Okay. Big deal. It doesn't sound like much, less than 1/10 of 1%. That's about a 9% jump in the yield on the 10-year Treasury notes. And like I said to you when we were talking on Saturday night, if we get to 2%, that's chaos. We get to 3%, that's end game. Okay. That's how close we are right now, guys, to financial turmoil. And the finance and the economic side that's what this guy knows more better than anything else. So keep a close eye on that. It keeps going up a little bit like this. I mean, but as the story called it today, it was a bloodbath in the bond market. Okay. Because what was happening is people were selling bonds, selling bonds, which drives the yield up. Okay. And another article that's out there, a lot of international money is going into the stock market. Now, I told you guys about this before too. When everybody's buying, that's the time to be selling. Because what happens if we have a whole bunch of international money running to the U.S. markets? The U.S. markets have always been viewed as a safe haven. Okay, somewhere that you could put your money and it was relatively safe. It didn't have the volatility of other exchanges around the world. So if international money is dumping into the U.S. market, that means that people are afraid of the DAX, the FTSE, the Nikkei, Germany, England, Japan, whatever would be, Hong Kong, the Hang Seng, whatever would be. So if people are afraid of those markets and they're coming here, eventually what happens is all that institutional foreign money will come out of the U.S. market, and that's when you see the bottom fall out of the U.S. market. What I'm telling you guys is be very, very careful with where your money is right now, because all the signs are still there for an economic crash. And I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything like that. That's about the only appropriate term. Okay, so that's the housekeeping, the interesting stuff that I think you guys need to know about, because the finance side of stuff is getting a little crazy. We don't even want to talk about, I don't have to tell anybody about rolling blackouts and, electricity down in Texas hit $9,000 a megawatt hour the other day. I mean, they're talking about people, individuals, households could have $1,000 electric bills this month because Texas can't do it. We're seeing natural gas issues. We're seeing letters being sent to people, emails or whatever, saying shut off all your electrical stuff so we don't have to go into rolling blackouts, use as little electricity as possible. There was a story out this evening. If the grid collapses in Texas because of this storm, it will take them months to fix it. Okay. Imagine being without power for months. We've all talked about this, guys. That's an SHTF situation. Are you prepared for that? It's February. Can you stay warm? How are you going to eat? Do you have your stuff? Imagine if the grid, there's 3 grids in the United States, okay? There's the Eastern grid, the Texas grid, and the Western grid. And the Eastern grid runs pretty much almost to the, from the Atlantic Ocean, almost to the Rocky Mountains. The Western grid runs from the Rocky Mountains to the California coast, and the Texas grid pretty much covers all of Texas with the exception of the Panhandle, okay? There's 3 grids in the United States. We're all tied to them. Sure, you have, I don't care if you got Con Ed or PSE&G or Pacific Gas and Electric or Commonwealth Edison or Powell Valley Electric or whatever, okay? We're still all tied into the same grid. All the electricity I use isn't necessarily generated just here in Tennessee, okay? And I'll tell you this as a, God's honest truth. States sell their electricity between each other all the time. Southern California, most of your electricity comes from Nevada, the Hoover Dam, okay? Y'all know that. Most of your water comes from there too. It's not like the power you're getting is generated there in your state, okay? It's regional. It's sold back and forth between the power companies all over the place. There was a story about the reason that there are some blackouts in parts of the Kansas City area is because the electric company there didn't have enough money to buy electricity from the neighboring states. So that's why you had blackouts, because they couldn't buy any of the electricity. Okay. That's how the grid works, guys. I mean, I know there's all sorts of crazy comments and stuff like that out there, but that's actually how it does work. So, all right. Enough with all of that. I just burned 10 minutes of question and answer time. So let me go back to the top. I saw North Shore's in here. Jacob's in here. I didn't see if we've got any of our other mods in here, so we'll go with two of those guys right now. They're usually pretty good about this. Oh, Ricky, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Or super sticker, I think that one would be with the little umbrella. But let me go back to the top. As per normal, guys, please put all the questions in caps so I can see them. Like I said, I scroll through them all, and I'm looking for capital letters. That's how I can find a question. So I figured the lowercase stuff is you guys chatting amongst yourself, which is great because I know y'all have questions that you talk to each other and have fun with. So that's kind of the whole point of doing all this. All right, so let's see where we got. And all the hellos. Okay. John Livington, I watch me and Prepper Now. Yeah, Prepper Now and I are, as he puts it all the time, brothers from a different mother. So yeah, I mean, actually, I tried calling him tonight, and I probably caught him in the middle of dinner, and it was right before he was going on. So, yeah, really good guy over there. He and I get along great. So, Prepper 007, ATM here froze. Says please take your card. Okay, and Bob Bissell saying their ATM worked fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be in and out. Like I said, I don't know if it was mine because Capital One's based in Houston, but somebody in the comments on the video said it was in Maryland, it was in Delaware. You know, I'm just telling you, be ready if we're seeing this in more than one place. And guys, just to give you this, in East Tennessee, I don't have any weather. All right, there's snow in Nashville, there's snow in Texas. It was 27 degrees here today. It was 19 at 8 o'clock. Okay, so it's cold, but I mean, it's not crazy cold here. And there's no snow on the ground, and the roads are dry, and everything's fine. So there's no craziness going on around me that would cause any sorts of problems. So this has got to be somewhere else. Okay, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Okay. John Livington, we may have a bank holiday in a couple of months. Very bad situation. Yeah, we had a bank holiday yesterday. Let's hope we don't have a permanent one here soon. RBF Cap, AP put a video out about food inflation. Okay, I haven't seen, and again, AP could be Angry Prepper or Alaska Prepper, either way. But yeah, I mean, food inflation, we've all talked about that. I mentioned it the other day. Constantine and I talked about it in the interviews that I posted for the last couple of days. You know, he's seeing 10 to 15% over there. That's pretty much the same I'm seeing, you know, figuring we're going to see over here. I still think by the end of the year, we see 50% food inflation. Okay. That's just my opinion. But the writing's all on the wall just from what I see going on in commodities markets and the futures markets. Okay. Roll in. Lots of comments about ketchup. That's got to be when I was talking about Heinz. Southern Bell Teacher, I stay tuned to the VIX. Yeah, watching the volatility index, very important. Okay. Oh, is Bigfoot Prepper in here somewhere? I see North Shore saying hi to him there. Oh, yes. Thank you guys, everybody. I wanted to say that I forgot about. Thank you, everybody, for going and pushing Bigfoot over 500. That was awesome to see that. And regarding letters from King, you guys got him in a 988. He needs 12 more people to get to 1,000. So if you haven't watched the interview and subscribed to Letters from King, push him over 1,000. That would mean a lot to me. Appreciate it. Yeah, Gracie Quinn, TVA feeds Western North Carolina. Exactly. Just like we were, you know, as I was mentioning at the top, it's just not, you know, within the state borders. So yeah, I mean, everything comes through Tennessee Valley Authority, all the dams and stuff that were built on the Powell River and Tennessee River and everything like that, that's powering part of North Carolina too. General Motors in Lordstown sells electric to the city. If I remember correctly, Lordstown plant, that's in Ohio, if I remember correctly. So that would make sense. Did it just, hang on guys, it just shot to the bottom on me again. Whoops. There we go. All right. Kevin Gaston. In Uvalde, Texas, if I'm pronouncing that right, close to the southern border, half the town, no power, no water anywhere. Most stores closed. One grocery store open, but almost empty. I've tried educating some, but they just want to play the blame game. It was interesting. I saw a picture of Houston, okay, this afternoon. The neighborhoods, I guess, if you're the lower income neighborhoods, middle class and lower income neighborhoods, were black. Downtown was all lit up. Tell me that wasn't planned. Okay, we can keep the oil companies, let's just say, because that's what's primarily in Houston. They can all have the power, but ma and pa back there trying to feed the two kids and do homework tonight over at the kitchen table, they can't have electricity. That's why I think something's up. It's being selective on who the power is being shut off on. But yeah, I mean, seeing the power outages, I'd really love somebody to really investigate where it's going out. I talked to a coworker today who lives in Austin, Texas. She hasn't lost power at all. Her daughter has lost power. Now, again, thinking chances are mom's making more money than the daughter. Okay. Are we playing around with the socioeconomic scales there to see who's worthy of power? Something to think about. Lake Ferry's in here. Hello. Rip Girl, good afternoon to you, sir. Okay. Jacob talking about that. Let's see. Okay. Bigfoot, can my beard produce enough power to help stabilize the grid? Static electricity. If I rub it real fast, what'll happen, right? No, I don't think it'll turn into a brush. Ricky Beerlar, who's the server of my bank? Well, the bank is Capital One. I mean, who runs their IT? I have no idea. Lisa, told your husband to check his ATM card. Yeah, that's what I'd suggest, guys. If you guys are out, go to your bank so you don't have to pay the fees or whatever it would be, but see if you can take 20 bucks out. Just make sure your card works. Because if it doesn't, you need to call the bank and find out, what's going on. John Poole in New York, happened to you today. Okay. David Grayson, pickle buckle update. Pickle buckle. There you go. Pickle bucket update. Buckets still smell like pickles. So did you do the vinegar and baking soda like everybody said, or was there something else? I forget what all the choices were. Your other option, you could always just put more pickles in it. Amy, I wish I had money to take out of the ATM. There you go. Diane S., I think TJ's right. Hackers, get ready. It's a very good possibility that somebody's playing games with all this stuff, and gee, I wonder who it would be. Let me guess. It's a country that, their language, they write with all sorts of pictures. Wonder who that could be. JB Preps, any people reporting propane shortages? And bear with me, believe it or not, it's actually a wine night on a Tuesday. Yes, heard a lot about propane shortages. The green tanks that you buy for your little heaters or whatever, I've heard all sorts of people tell me you can't get those anywhere. And I know I look in the store at Walmart and stuff like that just to see, and I haven't seen them there in at least a month. I have also heard from a lot of people that the 20-pound canisters like you use for your barbecue grill, that there's nowhere to fill those either. Okay. I haven't looked to see lately because everything I've got is on my propane tank that's buried in the yard. So, I mean, that's fine. But yeah, I've heard a lot about propane. Somebody actually said in the comments on the video today that one of the big calls is into propane companies to come fill their tanks, and the propane companies are telling people that it's a month out before they can get to them. So, I hope you all have your propane already if you were low on it, because from at least what this gentleman was saying, that it's going to be a while till you can get some. Nellie Thursday, why won't Pelosi give up trying to nail Trump? What's her agenda? She's wasting time and money. It's all deflection, okay? And I'm going to ask you guys this. Biden has now been in the White House for a month. Have you seen him and has he made any public appearances? Any? No. You've seen him at his desk, okay, signing his executive orders. Have we seen him in the briefing rooms? No. Have we seen any interviews with him? No. Okay. The guy is I mean, this is all they're trying to do is deflect, deflect, deflect. They're trying to make the topic on the news be something other than their failures. And, you know, again, CNN, MSNBC, all the networks, you know, bash Trump, bash Trump. I mean, they made billions of dollars on it over the last 4 years. You know, they don't want the golden goose to be cooked. Pelosi's the same way. They had no platform, guys. Remember this. They had nothing they can run on, and they won supposedly. Right? So what literally what can they do? You know, hey, let's push a bill through Congress to raise taxes. Yeah, that's going to go over real well. You know, let's do the $15 minimum wage. Yeah, that's going to go over real well. Yeah, let's get into green energy. Okay, let's tell that to all the people in Texas and the wind turbines that are frozen. That'll go over. They have no platform. So the only thing that they can do is to continue to bash Trump. Remember Obama, okay? 8 years of his presidency. And at 7 years, 11 months, and 29 days, it was still George Bush's fault, okay? This is exactly the same thing they're going to do. It's going to be their mantra for the next 4 years. It's not what we can do. It's like Orange Man bad. That's all they're going to talk about for 4 years. You know, so that is their agenda because there's nothing they can do for the American public because even they know that their ideas are idiotic, but they've got to somehow figure out the way to get all the sheep to agree with them. And that's what they're going to try to do. If they can keep making people hate Trump, everything stupid that they do, they'll blame on Trump. Well, we had to do this because of Trump. So that's where it's kind of going. Nomad Prepper, having continuous internet problems. Fortunately for me, I haven't. But like I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, it's because we finally got fiber out here and I got rid of the lousy satellite internet. So crossing my fingers, my internet's actually been a lot better. Garth Wagner, it's pretty rough about 45 minutes northwest of you. Ice, snow, now it sucks in Kentucky. I saw you guys, I was looking at a power outage area and you guys have a lot of power problems up there. And at least I'm in this little window, looking at the map, there was this big storm that went over Nashville and east central Tennessee. Let's leave it that way. And then there was another one that went over far east Tennessee and Virginia. And I'm in this like little slice right here where, bad blue, and this was all white. There was nothing here. So we're in this little tunnel. So yeah, I know right now I'm considering myself lucky because it's like I said, 19 degrees here, and this is the coldest it's supposed to be until Friday night. Friday night it's supposed to get down to 14, and that's it. That's cold for here. Don't get me wrong, but it was 2 in Dallas this morning. This was the funny part. I told Mrs. Pinball, it was actually warmer here at 8 o'clock this morning than it was in Brownsville, Texas. And if you don't know where that is, that's on the southern tip of Texas on the Mexico border. Okay. So yeah, that's a little weird. Okay. Get smashy. David Paff, I got to put a logo hat out. Anything in the works camo would be good. I understand, guys, as fun as that would be. Okay. I'm not in this for money. I'm not selling merch. I'm not asking you to subscribe to clubs or doing Patreon or anything like that. Okay. I want this to be sharing of information. Is it work? Absolutely. Do you guys help me out when you throw me a super chat every once in a while or some of the ads that play on here? Yeah, it helps me out. It gets me going. But interested in selling stuff or whatever, that's not me. I don't believe in it. It's why I want to do this platform. It's free to you guys. You guys can watch, you can listen, you can tell me to go fly a kite if you want or whatever it is. But I have no interest whatsoever in monetizing selling T-shirts and dog tags and hats and coffee cups and all that. I'm not trying to turn this into a business. That's not my intention of being here. Plus, this is about the only ball cap I'll wear anyway. So, Treasures in Kentucky, really enjoyed the King videos. Would like to see more. So, okay, so I guess that'll lead me to two questions. Okay, and first off, would you like me to do more with Constantine, or would you like me to find some people in other areas of the world and do whatever? So, kind of throw those in the description underneath the video as opposed to the chat room, because that way I can go back and see them a little easier to read. So that would be the first question. Who would you like to see me talk? And I don't want to do the same, the preppers interviewing other preppers. I mean, it's interesting, sure. I mean, I did the one with Angry Prepper. It was fun, but too many times I see those turn into just conversations between the panelists, and it doesn't involve you guys. And I want to get information to you guys. That's the important part. So, you tell me what you'd want to hear. I mean, if you want me to find somebody in South America or Japan or whatever it is, I mean, I can work on something like that. So that was the first question. The second question, I think y'all like some more. So Mrs. Pinball asked me today to ask you guys tonight what you would like her to cook this weekend. Either a Russian soup or stroganoff. Okay, one of the two. So the soup, she's going to have to pick which one, but stroganoff's pretty much stroganoff. And again, please put it down in the comments under the video, not in the chat room, because that way I can go back and see it. It's a lot easier, because scrolling through the chats takes forever, because you got to watch the whole video all over again, because you can't just move through it. So, okay. So, but that was it. I see North Shore. I see stroganoff coming up in here, but you didn't follow directions because I said put it down below. Okay. All right. Matthew Trucking, howdy for Texas from Houston. Alaska Prepper, Heinz increases prices. Yeah, that's the same thing I was talking about earlier. Hillbilly Homesteader 1776. I butchered 50 meat chickens in December, so all set there. Yeah, either you canned them or you froze them. So I'm hoping if you froze them, you got power. And if not, I guess you can take them outside. But yeah, good deal there. Texas Janet, 20% of our power in Bexar County is generated by solar farms. Also have 2 huge coal plants. Our power's on, but about 25% of the county is out or partially out. Water is down to a trickle. Yeah, well, and I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, it's the cold you're seeing down in Texas is not normal. I mean, pipes can freeze. There's going to be ice inside, your water pipes out at the street too. So that's probably why the water's down to a trickle there. But yeah, 20% is generated by solar. Well, if you're like Germany and it's all covered in ice, those are useless. Okay, you got the coal plants, which is probably keeping you going right now because we all know that the wind turbines are frozen. Planning, it's like, let's all go green. Oh, gee, weather happens. Well, we can talk about climate change, but we don't realize that it actually does snow in places. Sorry, I lived in Vegas. It got cold there too. LC, thank you for the super chat. I just saw that pop on the phone there, so I haven't got that far here. I'm trying to read through the computer. It's easier than trying to read on the phone. Prepping plumber, calling for ice all through the North Carolina mountains and Piedmont tomorrow. Oh God. Well, that's southeast to me, but that means all the folks down in Chattanooga are probably getting it too. Duh. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll ask this. Y'all know I spent better part of 50 years living up north. Okay. I've driven in snow and ice my entire life. I haven't done it in about 3 or 4 years. Not like you got it in Vegas, not like I'm getting it out here. I'm way out of practice in driving it. If you aren't experienced driving in snow and ice, stay off the roads, okay? The last thing I want to hear from anybody is, oh, so-and-so died in a car wreck here on one of the chats or whatever. We're preppers. We've got food in the house, whatever. Unless it's 100% emergency, the ambulance won't come and you got to get to the hospital. That's about the only reason you need to leave the house if there's anything out there. So, guys, stay safe. this is why we prep. We prep for stuff like this. This is a little thing we prep for. We all prep for bigger stuff than this. We can get through a week of bad weather, but please stay off the roads. You all saw that wreck on the news in Texas the other day. You know, none of us want to be involved in that. All that was black ice on the road, guys, and 133 cars and 6 people dead later. Please don't do that. So, Christopher Sweck. Well, I was getting there, and then it scrolled up on me. So let me go back and find you again. Hang on. Well, there were a lot of comments here. Where were you? Okay. I'm not going to get there, but I remember enough. You said, what about the truckers? Real good point, guys. Okay. The grocery stores are closed. We know that, which means nobody can bring deliveries. Okay. But also, the bad roads also mean the truckers can't go. So just because, I mean, we all know the stores are pretty much out of stuff right now because everybody went in beforehand. Typical, it's like, oh my God, bread, milk, and eggs. For some reason, everybody wants French toast when, we have, snowstorm. Don't ask me. But, afterwards, then the supply chains all got to get caught up. So even though this bad weather event is supposed to be over by about Monday, it's probably going to be the following weekend till the supply chain gets all caught up. So, we're still looking at about 2 weeks before the stores are normal. Because, trucks are all out of position, just like airplanes, okay? The flight from Des Moines to Salt Lake City to Denver, ain't going to Denver if the plane never gets to Salt Lake City. So, it's the same thing with the trucks. If the truck was hauling tomatoes from, Georgia to Little Rock, Arkansas, and then he was supposed to pick up another load in Little Rock. Well, if the truck doesn't get there, then that stuff's still sitting in a warehouse. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a while. It's going to take a while for supply chain to catch up. Yep, that's me. In an economic collapse in the U.S., will it cause a worldwide collapse regarding if the U.S. economy collapses, the world economy collapses, guys. The U.S. is still the preferred currency amongst the world. And if the U.S. economy goes in the toilet, everybody else falls behind. If you look at 2008, 2009 and the housing crisis, okay, that started here, okay? And again, it was from bad lending practices, giving anybody with a pulse a mortgage, okay? Everybody was getting their adjustable rate mortgages, interest rates went back up, people couldn't afford their mortgage, and all of a sudden we had foreclosures left and right, okay? That is what caused Europe, Asia, and all the economies over there to go down too. Okay, it was all caused by Dodd-Frank. Nobody wants to believe that. Okay, it wasn't a Bush policy. It was Chris Dodd and Barney Frank who put in that idiotic. You don't have to have any documentation to get a mortgage. Okay, so that's what caused it. One little silly thing in the United States can destroy the world economy. That's what I'm saying. And then it's a ripple effect. It's a snowball. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. You think of all the stuff we buy from China, okay? Our economy tanks, China's economy tanks. China is no longer manufacturing anything, which means nothing gets here, which means there's nothing to sell, nothing to buy. That means stores close, you have less, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, okay? Yeah, if the U.S. economy tanks, the world better watch out. Okay. Tommy M. Robotics will take over jobs if the government gives the wage increases. Yeah, if we go to $15 minimum wage, we already see it, guys. Go into a McDonald's. You don't go up to the register anymore. You type in what you want into a little kiosk. Why? Because the kiosk doesn't call in sick and doesn't cost $15 an hour. Okay, so what they do, they put in a couple of kiosks. It pays for itself in a couple of months, from their $15 an hour people they have. And, oh, gee, it keeps working where the $15 an hour people don't. Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I've said a million times, Democrats can't think past here, okay? They have no concept of what the consequences of their actions are. $15 an hour sounds great until your Big Mac costs you $10. And then everybody will complain, why is food so expensive? Well, again, supply and demand. If a company can't get any workers at $7.75, I think that's what minimum wage is now. If they'll have to raise the rate. They'll have to raise the wages to get workers. But as long as they can get people to work at $7.75, why should they raise the wage? That's just supply and demand. If a company cannot find workers until they pay $15 an hour, that's different. But as long as they can find them for less, that's what keeps competition going, and that's what keeps prices affordable. Oh my God, North Shore. It was warmer here in Toronto than it was in Texas. Holy crap. Okay. Hillbilly Homesteader 1776. I've been asked this a bunch of times. How did the pinball name come about? It was my call sign when I was in the Army. So, and it's just stuck with me. It's my CB handle. It's my name here. So, whatever would be, anything. It's just a nickname that's stuck with me for 35 years. Diane Prather, I was without power since Saturday. Finally came on at 5 o'clock today. Oh, I live in North Carolina. Hopefully it didn't get too cold, or hopefully you had some sort of backup there for you. But glad you got power again. Go have a warm meal. C-Max is in the house. Good. We got another moderator. Good deal. Good to see him there. Matthew Trucking, has anyone have or tried battery operated heaters? That'd have to be one hell of a battery to get something like that going. I mean, just the BTUs that you're trying to put out of a heater, battery's not going to do it. I mean, what are you hooking up to? A couple of car batteries, maybe? I mean, I've never even heard of one. Gina HT, thank you for the super chat. I know you did that a while back, and I'm just getting through the scrolls here, so I apologize. It's been a while, but thank you very much. Northwest Tennessee, too. Hey, there you go, neighbor. Long distance neighbor, but neighbor. Okay. Oh, and Foggy Mountain Man, thank you as well for the super sticker there. Do appreciate it. C-Max agreed. Love the Letters to King videos. It's great to raise awareness from around the world. Government and mainstream media won't tell us. Yeah, that was kind of the point to doing it. I wanted you guys to hear the impressions of somebody from a non-English speaking country. Okay, specifically Russia, considering how much Russia's in the news and my ties, if you will. But just to kind of hear what's going on, what their point of view on some of this stuff was. I mean, the very last question today, the political one, I thought was the most interesting of them all. Okay. And here's all the comments. Stroganoff. Didn't hear anybody say soup. Oh, no, I take it back. Warrior Cheryl Ann said soup. We have a soup vote. OC Mex said soup. Amanda. Oh God, now it's gonna be. Well, we're gonna see which gets more votes where I told you to put them. Tamales. Yeah. Okay. Russian tamales. That would be a good one. Though she makes a good burrito, I will say that. But I get the feeling it might be stroganoff. Let's see, where are we? DJ Squatchy, I don't follow directions. Can we have both? Well, you'll eventually get both. Just whether or not we get that how far we go. Darla Christensen like to see both soup and stroganoff. Like I said, eventually you'll get them. Luke Thompson, the bluegill. I'm assuming you're meaning on the video the other day, the bream, the Black Sea bream. Brim, however you pronounce it. Matthew Trucking, not sure, but I hear Texas is or has a separate grid system. Yes, the majority of Texas is on its own grid. We talked about that a little earlier. JB Preps, I'd love to hear someone about life in Venezuela. I would too. If I can manage to pull that one off, that would be very interesting. The problem that I think I'd have with something like that is, who the hell can afford internet or a computer down there right now? Okay, they can't afford food. And if I do find somebody that can afford internet or a computer, they're probably one of the corrupt people. So I'd almost have to find somebody who was down there and got out, but that would be a very interesting topic. I like that one. KKR, how many times can we vote for Stroganoff? Gee, I get the idea. I know what you're cooking this weekend, honey. She's shaking her head. Elsie, I think I hit you in that super chat. Thank you. CMAX says, dealing of frozen pipes down in Texas, nothing else, moving here in a few weeks. Yeah, that's, oof. The in-laws are moving from Texas to Michigan. Okay, get used to cold weather. North Shore, please leave comments for Mrs. Pinball in the comment section once the video's posted. Don't know, she might be watching, so I don't know. But she's probably watching on her phone, so she's probably not seeing the comments. Black River Outfitters, no kidding. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Yes. Yes. One guilt free. How much should a person invest in silver or in gold? That's a personal question. I mean, again, I don't know your personal situation. Common wisdom, if you will, financial wisdom says somewhere between 5 and 10%. But that's in a normal market. I'd probably, if I had to say, I'd say probably 20 would probably be accurate. But obviously, you've got to keep enough in fiat money and dollars to pay your bills or whatever it is. But to park something, yeah, like I said, I mean, I was trying to get silver today, so. Okay, don't understand. Ben Affleck, when you fly a kite, make a video. I haven't flown a kite in 20 years since my daughter was little. Susie D, why didn't they test those ugly wind turbines? We know the sun's not every day. Well, yeah, but it's kind of hard to test for freezing weather. I mean, you know how tall those things are. What are they going to do? They can't build a big tent over there and put dry ice in and freeze them. So, I mean, but yeah, you think common sense. But again, like I said, I talked to a coworker down in Austin, and they had a blizzard down there. It's the first ever blizzard in Austin, Texas. With the winds and 6 inches of snow and yada yada yada. So, I mean, yes, it's a weather anomaly, but we're in a grand solar minimum. So, we could have weather anomalies like this for the next 40 years. Bonnie Bethel, a couple of years ago, we went to Vegas and it snowed. Yeah, I remember one morning we lived there for a couple of years, and there was one morning I woke up and there was maybe quarter of an inch, half an inch of snow in the yard. I mean, it was gone by about 10 o'clock, but yeah, there was a little bit of snow overnight. Best way to recycle used gray water besides the garden? JG asking that one. The garden's the best suggestion I'd have. I mean, you can wash your car with it. I mean, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of use for dirty water. So I mean, your garden would be the best place. I certainly wouldn't want to try to drink it, even purify it or whatever it would be. So, just did my laundry in it. Now I'm going to try to run it through a purifier. I don't know. I got to go back up because it scrolled down on me again. All right, I'm going to. Jesse St. John, stop going to Walmart due to not getting paid for working, doing their jobs. Jeez. I mean, obviously you weren't a Walmart employee because, then you'd be on payroll, but I'm assuming you were doing side contract work or whatever it was, and, somehow, obviously legally they can't do that. So I don't know what they're trying to pull with that one. I just don't know the deal. Alaska prepper, no power except for his computer. He's using it for light. Jeez, okay, so power's out in Alaska. They're used to cold. Come on. Terry Kai or Kal, my eyes aren't that good. Human trafficking tunnels found under the White House. Okay, that's conspiracy theory crap. I'm not even going to go into that one. Pamela Fury, we're fortunate to have a wood stove. It convinced my husband a few years back to have one in storage too, just in case they banned them. We gifted each other a new gas grill this year. There you go. Good idea. Yeah, Southern Bell teacher. There's a perfect point. You're teaching for $10 an hour. Yet the guy who's saying, "Would you like fries with that?" is supposed to get 15. Somebody explain that to me, okay? He has no career aspects and he's not doing anything to better society. You're teaching the next generation and you're supposed to get two-thirds of what he gets. That makes no sense to me. Okay. Teachers, again, underpaid in most places. To take teachers in Chicago, they aren't worth spit. But, depending on the teachers, yeah, the salaries for the most part are poor. Uh, it's funny with teachers. The better the teacher, the lower you get paid. The worse you get as a teacher, the more you get paid, it seems. Uh, okay. Warrior Cheryl Ann, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Willie Cody, will an electric generator power space heater? Okay. I'm assuming you don't mean an electric generator because that kind of defeats the whole point. I mean, you're not going to run electricity to create electricity. So I'm assuming you're meaning a gas generator power a space heater. It depends on the size of the space heater and the size of the generator you have. I mean, if it's got enough amperage and wattage to put it out to do it, it should. The problem is space heaters suck a lot of energy. So even if you had a big enough one, that might be the only thing that you're running on that generator. But if it's 2 degrees in Dallas, yeah, put your food outside, take it out of the refrigerator, put your food outside, and keep the house warm. Mary Rogers, maybe hot hands packets should be part. Yeah, hand warmers are definitely something that should be part of your preps. North Jersey, 51 degrees today. Yeah, we're supposed to be 41 here tomorrow. You and the damn tamales. Gloria O'Neill, you've been without power or water since Sunday. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Hope. I'm guessing you're probably either Texas or Missouri, Arkansas, the Ozarks, somewhere where I saw it's been pretty bad. Janet Humphrey, pierogies with meat and deep fried. Okay. We'll probably do pelmeni eventually, which is the Russian version of it, but pierogi, I know what you're talking about as well too. Is this Tennessee Tactical? Is this ammo thing gonna last forever? It's gonna last a long time, guys. You know that everything is getting bought up, and it ain't by us. Okay, so you know who's buying it. The government's trying to restrict guns somehow, and they're doing it via ammo. I mean, that's it. They can't tell you can't buy a gun, but they can make it impossible to use. That's all it is. Diane asked, good point. Everyone make sure you have a battery-operated carbon monoxide detector. Yes, absolutely, especially if you're going to put any sort of heater in your house. Tommy M., how about a homemade potato vodka video? I have no idea how to do it. So if you want to look for something like that, there's a guy, there's a real good channel called Bearded and Bored. So, Bearded and then Bored, Bored. And I think he's got a video on how to make potato vodka. He's got a video on how to make all sorts of booze if you want to do something like that. Hello, Canadian cabin girl. Her hard life prepping. Roads are horrible here in Southwest Missouri. I believe it. I've seen some of the videos. Living Traditions Homestead and Prepared Homestead put the videos up of what things look like out there. It just looks nasty. Oh God, prepping 101. You're dealing with ice damming. I thought you said ice damage. Ice damming on the roof is no better. Yeah, I remember those. The gutters freeze and that's it. And now you got these big problems. So many people I remember up there had those electric wires that would run on the roof to melt everything off. But if you don't have them, yeah, Michigan sucked for that when I was up there. Jules, you'd like Mrs. Pinball to make a dessert. She probably could. I don't know. I mean, usually the bakery stuff like that she buys, but yeah, that'll probably be on a list somewhere if she feels like making something like that. Uh, America First. What do I think about them trying to pass a law that's going to be $800 a month for a weapon? Again, I'm going to say this: good luck enforcing it. Okay, nobody's going to pay it. They're not going to. They'll get a few stupid people that are going to pay it. Great. What are they going to do otherwise? Again, I've said a million times, they're not going door to door to confiscate weapons. It's not going to happen. They don't have the manpower to do it. It's not possible. These are all great. We're going to talk about it. Let's see a bunch of congressmen put that together, and let's see how fast they're voted out of office. Okay, I mean, nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to pay for it. It's just not going to happen. Great idea. Hey, there's what is it, 400 million weapons in the country. If we can get $800 a month, just think how much. I mean, that's Bernie Sanders thinking. How much money can we steal from the people? Diane asks, yes, Prepper Princess is awesome. I will agree with you there. Did I actually get down to the bottom? I think I got to the bottom. Holy crap. Yeah, Chief Jim, very good comment. Don't plug a space heater into a power strip. That's a huge fire hazard, yes. Yeah, David Williams, that's good. I wish I could send you some sunshine from Mexico. I don't know about that. I saw you got power outages down there now too. But Biden and the gang says it's non-essential. Yeah, let's see. You can send all the people, you just can't send sunshine, right? That would be how it works. I get it. Okay. Texas Janet, we made vodka in the college chem lab back in the 70s. Great. That might be a good skill to have in SHTF, though. Patriot Ref, Connecticut trying to mandate all the children get the vaccine to go to school. They're going to have some big problems there. Real problems with the parents, I think, at that point. Though, I think the school system's about to collapse because I think the public is finally fed up with the lack of education the kids are getting, and now if they're going to try to start forcing stuff against people's wishes, that's going to make it even worse. So we'll see what happens. Homeschooling may be the thing of the future. Warrior Sherilyn, what about kerosene heaters for alternative heating? There are, I believe, some approved kerosene indoor heaters. The propane ones are definitely the better way to go, or natural gas. And even then, the ones that have your barbecue size grill tanks on them, those are not for indoor use. You got to have those little 1 gallon or 1 pound tanks and stuff like that. Because remember, you're bringing something flammable in your house, and if something goes wrong, a little 1 pound tank is going to create a big boom. A 20 pound tank is going to blow your house to bits. Okay, and tell the insurance company, yeah, I was heating the house in a propane tank, and they're going to go, guess what? We don't have to pay. So, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the best case scenario, I think, is if you had the propane tank outside and you had a valve inside that you could hook your propane heater to. So, Hillbilly Homesteader, how much of the shortages on items do you think is controlled by the higher ups? On ammo, I think it's completely controlled by them. On things like food and stuff like that not so much. I think honestly, I think that's more controlled by China, because they're either in control. We've talked about Smithfield many times, and shipping all the food over there, and then we're left to pay the premium so they can sell. If you got if everything's costing $1.50, they'll sell it to the people in China for $1, sell it to us for $2, still make their $1.50, and just milking us and subsidizing them. That's kind of what's going on. Bruce, did I see the rally for Trump on President's Day in Florida? No, I haven't turned on the TV in over a week. I can't. I can't watch the news anymore. Because even Fox, it's just brown nosing and bootlicking 24/7 anymore. And it's like, okay, so I'll go read something online, take out all the bullshit out of it, find the two lines in there that are factual, and then I'll figure it out from there. I'm scrolling back up just to see if I missed something because I know we got that. Oh, we're 5 minutes to 9 anyway. It's okay. I pretty much looks like I caught most of everything. Let's look if there's anything on the bottom here. Uh, Lake Ferry, watching and listening here and watching moonshiners on TV. Okay, no, I have no relatives there. Okay, that's not, you're not going to see me on the show either. It might be in my backyard, but you're not going to see me there. Bonnie Bethel, can't stand watching the news. I hear you. One guilt free. Ranchers are losing cattle to immigrants crossing the Canadian or the southern border, the Canadian border. Yeah, okay. Sean, no crossing the border and stealing cows now. Yeah, I mean, my guess is, yeah, they're coming in there, grabbing one, stealing one, chopping it up, and feeding the whole posse behind them. Billy Pollard been hand loading ammo for 20 years, never had a problem finding components until now. Yeah, from what I've heard from everybody I know that does their own reloads, they can't find primers. Go from there. Oh, come on, Sean. Okay, yeah, you can teach me how to ice fish if I ever go up there. I've only been ice fishing one time in my life up in Minnesota, and man, that was an interesting time. All right. Well, okay, we're last couple of minutes here, and we're gonna go from there. So, just gonna couple of things, guys. You know, stay warm. If you're down south and it's icy, don't drive. If you are somewhere around an ATM, try to use your card. See if you can get some cash out. Make sure you got a little extra cash on hand because this probably, by the time we get all caught up, is going to be 2 weeks before everything there, and we don't know what's going on. You know, it's been an interesting couple of days here with this whole storm. We got a long way to go. I guess 4 or 5 more days. So, you know, for all of you guys that are without heat, without power, whatever, maybe you're in those blackouts and you got, I mean, if you're without power, I don't know how you're watching this, but, you know, my prayers are with you guys. You know, take care of your friends, take care of your family. If you got any elderly around you or somebody, you know, check on the neighbor if you can. Just make sure they're okay because, you know, some of us are in good shape. You know, not everybody is. And if you got the ability to check on somebody else, you know, do that. I mean, man upstairs is watching everybody here. So, you know, no good deed ever goes, you know, unrewarded. So I wish you all the best. Stay warm. We'll see you all in the morning. You guys got my email, whatever it is, you know, something going on, shoot it to me. I appreciate all the comments, all the emails and everything. So have a good one, guys. Take care. Pinball out.